Hey guys, so I'm tackling one of my age-old questions I get all the time, and it is, should you go, excuse my language, my bad, should you go ass to grass when you squat? And let me put some premise on that, basically saying is it dangerous? Is it necessary? Why are we doing it? In a nutshell, so I'm gonna talk about that. So, I mean, flat out, let's call it like it is. It requires more work. You have to recruit more muscle fibers to get it done. I mean, it just is what it is. So you get more out of it when you go ass to grass because you're recruiting more muscle fibers. Another really beneficial reason, it helps a ton with getting out of something we like to call the hole. So anyone who lifts, does squats, knows what the hole is, whether you're doing for heavy weight or volume, whatever the case may be. That initial explosion as you come back up, because we all reach that moment where we squat down and we hit the hole and we're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I mean, I know I do. Another reason, it really helps with lower back stability, which is huge. Lower backs are always getting hurt in this world. It just kind of is what it is. Also, it's safer on the spine. If you ever seen anyone squat and they don't break parallel, or they seem just really stiff, again, that shows two things: poor hip flexibility. Also, it takes a lot of strain on the spine. Squats are hard. It's a very awkward movement for the body, so if you're able to really break that parallel, it's really beneficial for you. And not to mention, it's just safer. I know it sounds crazy. It doesn't look like it, but it is. So let's talk about, is it necessary? Should you do it? Should you always do it? So it really kind of goes with your lifestyle. It's a little more in depth than just, okay, that guy has poor hip flexibility. It is what it is. There's a little more to it. So, for example, if you're someone who works in the office all the time and you're always sitting, ass to grass, believe it or not, is not always the best thing for you. Crazy, right? I mean, plain and simple, you have less flexibility, you're more stiff, and because you're always sitting in that awkward position, it feels very awkward and very unnatural to really try to break that 90-degree plane. Also, you really have to gauge where the person is. I'm not gonna say some people aren't meant to do ass to grass, but I mean, I'm gonna call it like it is. Some people just aren't meant to do ass to grass squats. That's not to say that, they can't get to 90 or slightly break it. Whenever you think expectation of ass to grass, we think of literally almost touching. I mean, ass to grass, I mean, come on. But, some people, they're just not that flexible at that moment. I'm not going to say forever, but at that moment, they're probably just not the most flexible. So you kind of don't want to do ass to grass because it can actually seriously hurt them. Or even worse, you might roll your back, you might tear something, who knows what could happen. So, like I said, it's not as cut and dry as saying, well, if you don't do ass to grass, then you're doing it wrong. It's not that cut and dry. There's a lot more factors that go into it. But overall, as a rule of thumb, if you can break 90 degrees, do it. Just do it. I know it sucks. Trust me. Myself personally, I always break 90 degrees. I always go ass to grass. Sometimes, let me put a better preface on that. When I do it, when I squat, I'm going to show you a few clips here too. When I squat, I try not to go so super ass to grass when I get past 225. The reason is because it's just heavy. I really don't want that much strain on my lower back. So a little bit about me, I have a few tears down there, and whenever I do break ass to grass and I'm going over 225, I feel like I'm really testing the limits of my lower back stability. And I'm really testing to see how well my back has been repaired from my last injury. So I try not to kind of play the odds, to be honest. I'm not saying I don't go deep. I still go deep. I always break 90, but I don't go as low as you can see in the video. So like I said, rule of thumb, if you can, do it. Be cautious. Again, ass to grass, you can't hurt yourself. I mean, you can hurt yourself not doing ass to grass. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. Do I think you're more susceptible to injuries doing ass to grass? Yes. Heck yes. It really just depends what you're doing. If you're going for volume, aka lighter weight, high reps, probably not going to happen. But once you start breaking that 225 plane, start going in the crazy road of powerlifting and all that good stuff, I mean, there's a reason why they work on squats all the time. That's just one of those things. The hole is huge with that. Sometimes if you panic and you're in the hole, you could hurt yourself. A lot of common injuries are lower back pain for a reason. So it's kind of preface it. So all in all, if you can do it, do it. Isn't it necessary? I encourage you to attempt it. But if you just keep it real with yourself, you can't do it yet, follow these little tips I'm gonna put here right now to kind of get into the swing of it. So if you can't do it, if you don't, you just try.